Hello, welcome to my final ethics project. In this project, I'm going to talk about three, it will consist upon three parts: my personal moral code, my human rights view, and how I apply my morals to certain situations in my life. This presentation, this video, will will be me recording myself. I will be doing vlogs, and I hope you like it. My name is Alfonso Valdes, and my moral view overall in the world, the way I see the world in a moral way, is to treat people as I want them to treat me. For example, let's say that I'm talking to someone, and I'm talking to that person in a very rude way. Most likely they will reply to me with the same way in a very rude way. But if, for example, I'm talking to someone and I talk to them in a nice way, in a kind way, I think that I can get from them what I am giving to them. What I mean by this is, I don't expect people to give back to me just because I treat them in a very good way, but I do really hope that if I spread positivity around people I spend time with, I think that this is something that can help the world a lot, because although sometimes there are stubborn people that are just not happy with life, I think that I still have a chance to making this possible, to make people more positive. And it doesn't matter how successful you are, how rich you are, how much money you have, it doesn't matter. What matters really the most is how you treat people. And this is something that my dad once told me, and I identified a lot with it because it's true. The way you treat people tells everything about you. Well, my when it comes to the theory of ethics, I identify myself the with two main theories, I guess you could say. These are the most common among my classmates. Well, I have been discussing about this project, and these two theories are utilitarianism and deontology. I agree with both of them, but not 100%. The thing I believe this way is because, well, deontology, well, sometimes it can be very difficult. It depends a lot on the situation you're dealing with. um, the deontology basically means that the actions that you do are the ones that matter, and the outcome account doesn't really is taken in account for. While in utilitarianism, it's exactly the opposite, where where it is that the actions don't matter, but the outcome does. If, for example, let's say that, I don't know, I am I am willing to lie in order to save my life. Well, of course I will. And if I am willing to lie in order to save someone's life. But I don't totally agree with this. Well, in deontology, this would be wrong, because if I lied, that's wrong. But when it comes to utilitarianism, I mean, in the end, I saved my life or the life of somebody else, and this is something that I really like identify myself with, because sometimes this happens. I don't know, let's say that someone's trying to kill you, and you totally, well, someone's trying to kill you and you basically defend yourself. Well, in the end, you defended yourself and you saved your life, but you ended up killing that person that wanted to hurt you. Well, in utilitarianism, this would be good because you saved your life. But in deontology, it would be wrong because you killed someone. And this is something that really connects with me, because I have always been this way. I have always think of it as I first analyze the situation that I'm facing, and then I put in action what I believe. I do believe that there are some things that are absolutely wrong and absolutely right. For example, it depends a lot on the situations, as I said before. But in reality, for me, the one theory that I agree with the most is utilitarianism, because it applies to most situations in life. It's the one that is most commonly used in life. For when the outcome really is the one that matters and not the actions that you do. Because people are only going to see you or see somebody else to or see someone else on what they have accomplished. They will not only be looking at, oh, you did this wrong or you did that wrong. They won't. They only look at the outcome, and this is something that most people do. I'm not saying that everyone, because everybody has different opinions, different views, but most people do this, and that's why I identify myself with utilitarianism the most. And well, obviously, my moral absolutes are killing is wrong, um, unless you are trying to defend yourself, as I said before. Now, I'm going to talk about how I see human rights. Well, human rights are very important. They are something, there are some issues with them around the world, but also these rights, I think, that protect a lot of people. And although I see them as something that is good, I see them as a totally acceptable way that people should live their lives. But in my opinion, there are three basic things that I think that are important in this when it comes to these rights. Well, the first one is that, well, basically that regardless of your gender, religion, your social status, or whatever you think your opinion is, you have the responsibility to treat everyone as you want. Well, not as you want, in a human way. And this is something that really connects again with the quote I said in the beginning, to treat everyone as I want to be treated, as they wanted to treat you. Because if you treat someone in a different way, in a way that is not human, if you treat them like animals, well, this is bad. And they will treat the most likely, if that person gets out of the situation that he or she is facing, most likely they will get payback, because that's how humans think. Humans think that, well, what goes around comes around, or otherwise known as karma. I'm not saying that everyone thinks it this way, but most people do. And regardless of your religion or nationality, you must treat people in a human way. You cannot just treat someone in a just act like an animal, like a dog, or like is not correct. And there's the second most important right that I think is that no matter, well, every person with that is conscious and, well, basically has the responsibility to treat everyone how they want them to treat you. And this is something that again connects back to my quote in the beginning, because it is basically, this right is basically saying to treat others as you want to be treated. And for me, this is like the most important one. And the third most important right for me is that you should never ever torture somebody else or injure them. This is something that I think that it's actually morally, in my moral absolutes, I think this is something that is totally wrong. You cannot just torture someone, or I don't know, treat them in a very bad way, make them, harm them, injure them. This is just something that is not good, and this is the way I think. This is the way that I think utilitarianism and deontology relate to each other. This is when it comes to my moral views. This is something that I agree 100% with. Now, if I were to apply a moral view to a more realistic topic, I would choose the choose the environmental topic because this is something that not only affects certain people, it affects everyone around the world. But I'm going to talk specifically about people here in Torreon. Well, as some of you may know, um, people in Torreon is a semi-desert, which means that not everyone, water is very limited in this environment. Um, I think that in order to do a greater good for everyone that lives here, would be to spread consciousness, to spread a message. If I were to be some kind of influencer or a famous person, I would totally do this what I'm doing right now, record myself, and basically just spread a message to everyone to say that they must take care of water. And I think this would have a very good impact on everyone that basically follows me. And this is just something that cannot will not only help us, it will help everyone, and even in the future it can help future generations to still be able to live. And well, I always think of I'm always thinking in the future. I live in the present, but I'm always anxious to know what will happen next, what will be the next move that I will do. I'm always that very kind of person. And if I can do something in order to make allow people to have access to clean water in the future, well, totally, I would do it. And this is something that that I think that would do a greater good. But what I think that it's absolutely wrong, and this is something that is happening, is people just wasting clean water. I think that this is just absolutely wrong because this is a human right. Having access to clean water is a human right that everyone must have. And I don't agree with people that waste water. For example, I don't know, let's say that there is a drain pipe that is leaking water. Well, that's not nobody's fault, but I think that something should be done in order to this issue for this issue to be fixed because it affects everyone. This is water waste, water being wasted, and this is something that I personally think that is totally wrong. I don't think people should be ungrateful and just to waste water because they can afford it, to afford to pay for it. No matter how rich they are, no matter their social status, I think that this is something that is very bad for the environment. And when it comes to the benefits that I think that I can have, well, I can have access to clean water. I mean, I can sometimes give me the luxury to take long showers, but most people can't. And this is a reality because in Mexico, most people live in poverty. But thankfully, I am able to do this, and not just because I can afford paying clean water or being able to have access to water very easily, I won't just waste it. The thing is, I won't waste it because I just want to have fun, or maybe just waste it because I think that this is something bad. I think that I should not waste it. I think that I should not waste it because everyone must have access to it, and if I can do something about it, well, totally, I would do it in order to make more people be able to live the way I live. This is something that, again, connects back to my initial code, which is treat people the way I want them to be treated. I don't waste water, and I want others to have water. So if I want others to have water, I must take care of it in order for them to have access to that water. Well, I think that that's it for the vlog. I think that this is it for the presentation that I did on ethics on my final project, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.